Hi, good evening. How are you doing today? Welcome to my daily live session on various tools and methods from my toolkit for execution excellence. My name is Dinakar. I am the founder of Samuthana and the inventor of Duha. And I've been talking about various tools and methods which are, what should I say, in my toolkit for achieving execution excellence. And today I'll be talking about the observation triangle. So let me now directly, no, sorry, I would be giving a recap of what I did yesterday and then speak about the today's topic, which is the perception differences. Uh, I got delayed a little because of a small glitch that we didn't have current, and after that I had to switch over to the UPS. This is something which is quite natural. So fortunate that the UPS is on, and now we are working on the UPS. The lighting, everything is the UPS. So maybe it's a little dull because of that. So pardon me for that. There is a huge voltage fluctuation. I don't know what the reason is. After this live session, I'll go down and have a look and then try to sort it out. So let's see. Now, the main topic which I spoke yesterday was the observation triangle, which has to do with observing the situation and then what behavior was observed in that situation, and then finding out what is the outcome or the result which got delivered because of that particular behavior, and using these three as the key to then going back to understanding what is the reason why somebody behaved in a particular manner, which is the core of what should I say, giving a right and a correct feedback. So when one does this, then it goes back to the two slides which I said. You go back two slides earlier, where one would look at the analysis triangle and try to understand where the driver is. Why is it that somebody is behaving in a certain manner, whether it is good or bad, and accordingly give a feedback which could either be reinforcing that behavior or maybe talking about what could be done to avoid that behavior, which is in this case called as feed forward. So this is what I spoke about yesterday, and today's topic was the perception filter, which is what I had explained yesterday. And now let me start talking about what this perception filter all about. I during my one of the live sessions when I spoke about mindset. I don't know whether you remember that. Let me see if I can go back in the slides here and try to find out that mindset if it was there. I don't remember whether I'd spoken about mindset in this series or in the earlier series. If I got a slide, let me show you that. And a mindset is basically something which we evolve over time because of all the experiences that we have gained and all the emotional memories that we have acquired, and that's something which is what that creates the mindset. This is a slide which I wanted to show you. Here on the left side is the individual mindset and the right side is the culture. And mindset basically is based on experiences that we acquire, and that's what I had spoken some time back. You can have a look at that video if you want to know a little more about mindset. Mindset is directly driven by our memories, especially emotional memories, and then emotional experiences. And based on that, we would be behaving in a certain way, we would be perceiving in a certain way, and with that we develop a filter, and this filter is what that creates the perception filter, what you see on this slide. This is a very age old optical illusion. I don't know whether any of you have been introduced to this optical illusion or not. On the left side, there is both the pictures are the same. What you see on the top is the same picture, the blue picture here. What do you see here actually? Do you see a young lady or an old lady? That's something which is very interesting. Now, how do you, when do you see an old lady? Then it's quite interesting. Many times you see an old lady or a young lady. Depends on the person who's looking at it. Some see old, some see young. So how do you see the old lady? First of all, let me look at that. If imagine that the lady is looking in this direction towards the rose. The rose is here. The lady is looking towards the rose here. Then you see an old lady with her nose here. This is her nose. Then this is the one eye. The other eye is somewhere there. And this is her mouth. Whatever. I think I need to go into the presentation where I can show you where the mouth and the, yeah, there I go there. So let me come to that. So here you have got the nose of the lady. This is the nose of the lady. Then this is the mouth of the lady, what you see here. And this is one eye. And this is the other eye, which is hidden. So this is what you would see. And this is the hair of the lady, what you see on the top. And this is a scarf, actually. And the one in the front is the hair of the lady. That would be an old lady if you're looking at the old lady, if you saw that in the picture. And why is it that somebody else saw a different picture? Somebody else saw a young lady. A young lady, the same picture. It is the same picture, wherein the lady is looking at the rose in the front. The rose is somewhere here. So the lady is looking in this direction, in the direction towards the rose. And in that case, the chin is here. What you see here? Cheek is here. And then the eye, only one eye you can see from this side. And then this is the hair and this is the scarf. So it's basically the view from the back where you're looking at as a young lady, and this is her cheek and the cheekbone, and after that comes the neck here. So that's a different image altogether. I don't know, did you get that image? The young one and the old one. Young one is when you are looking at the picture in this direction. That means the rose is there, and the lady is looking at the rose in this direction. And the old one is a photo taken in the front, where you're talking about the image which you saw from the front, where the lady is looking at the rose in this direction. That means you're looking at the left part of the face from the front, and in this case you are looking at the face from the back, the left cheek of the lady. From the left, the young lady looking at the flower in the front in that direction. So this difference is something which is very interesting. This is a very what should I say, and there's nothing right, nothing wrong. And what is important to know is that one perceives in a different way, the other one perceives in a different way. And to get this basic concept that each one can perceive things differently is something extremely important in human relationships. And this is something which is the core for understanding relationships and looking at it in a different way. See, somebody looked at a picture in a different way doesn't mean that he is good or he is bad. It only means that he has a different perspective. And that different perspective is what that really gets us to understanding people, gets us to really creating synergy. What is synergy actually? Synergy is basically trying to ensure that both the people are in a position to get their best done, and both the people can contribute in whatever way that they can, so that you are combining the strengths jointly to create a much larger strength. That is what synergy is all about. And synergy can only be achieved if you can understand the other person. Moment we say that, look, I am looking at the young lady, and somebody says I'm looking at the old lady, that itself would be a huge conflict, isn't it? And that can go on, debates can go on forever. And this is a very clear optical illusion, an example which demonstrates that the perception need not be the same. I'll give you another example, which is what I do many a times in all my programs. Whenever there is a situation where people are not able to understand each other, I do a very simple example. You can also do that. I'll explain that. It's not very tough at all. You just get up from wherever you are sitting after this telecon, after this live session, and then gather a couple of your family members, and then take a walk for only about 50 meters. That's all. Just a small 50-meter walk. It could be within your house itself. Just go around the house 50 meters, or maybe go to the balcony and walk a 50-meter length, or you go down to the road and walk for 50 meters, and then ask them to see whatever that they saw. They remember that and come back. 50 meters, that's all. That means it will take less than a minute to do that activity. Come back and make each one of you make notes of whatever you saw individually and whatever you remember that you saw. Like I saw a table in the living room. I saw a sofa in the drawing room. I saw flower vase in the drawing room. I saw the TV in the family living room. I saw a dining table in our dining room. I saw the jug on the dining table. I saw the stove in the kitchen. Whatever that comes, whatever that somebody saw, let them make a note of that. But do it individually. Don't do it together. Okay? 3 people would have done 3 lists. Each one would have done 1 list. Then you try to find out how many of those items that were seen by the 3 people were common. That means everybody wrote dining table. It should be dining table. Somebody cannot say that it's a dining area. That's a different one. It should be one-to-one comparable, because we are talking about perceiving identically. Therefore, it's important that the same wording should be used. Somebody cannot say that I saw a flower vase and somebody says I saw a porcelain vase. They are different things. When I say that I saw a rose flower and somebody says I saw a red color rose flower, they are different ones. So make sure that they are identical, and find out how many such items are identical amongst the 3 of you. Anybody want to take a guess how much it would be? What percentage could it be identical? We're talking about 50 meters, not more at all. And it's about 1 minute job. It's not a big deal at all. Mind you, my dear ladies and gentlemen, it would be somewhere around 20% maximum, which is common across all the 3 people. And this happened over 15 minutes, over 50 meters of walking in about a minute's time, of 3 people who possibly grew up together, who possibly are living together, and in the case of a workplace, then who are possibly working together. And imagine, and they've got a lot of commonalities, right? That means their experience is quite common, but still there is a huge differentiation in the way we have experienced our reality. Therefore, the mind perceives in a different way. Each one perceives in a different way, and this perception depends on what our background is, what our experiences in the past are, and that is different. And this is different. It is different uniquely, and each one of us are really unique people. You can't find two people who are identical. Absolutely not possible. Absolutely not possible, because their experiences were different. Even if I said get somebody stand next to me and then we went through the entire life together, of course we had different experiences. When we went to the toilet, for example, he went to a different toilet, I went to a different toilet, and let us say even though we are twins, we sleep together, we do everything. But then when I was eating, I had as a probability, when I was having fish, let us say, when I took the bite, then there were some bones of the fish in my mouth, so I had a different experience. The other person didn't have that. Let us say we were both eating what do you call it as aloo bonda, and one had in his aloo bonda a chili, the other one didn't have aloo bonda in the chili. The variations are so many in this universe that is impossible to have two people have identical experiences throughout their life. Therefore, each one of us perceive differently. If we perceive the reality differently, then does it make any sense in arguing at all? Just think of it. I look at the problem in a different way. There is no point in arguing. There is no point in convincing. This particular activity, whatever we did just now, whatever I explained just now, only substantiates the fact that there is absolutely no point in arguing. There is no point in arguing at all, my dear ladies and gentlemen, because each one perceived differently. If you perceive differently, obviously we have a different opinion. So what's wrong in having a different opinion? And most of the time, mind you, we are trying to change the opinion of somebody else. We are trying to say that this guy is able to convince somebody. There's no concept of nothing like convincing anybody. The other person understood or accepted whatever somebody said, because the other person who said that you do it like this has a better bargaining power. How do you get this better bargaining power? It could be because of relationship. You got huge trust levels, or you have a better position in the organization. You are hierarchically above. You're physically stronger, or there is some kind of a fear element involved, or there is a surprise element involved. They have got a lot to do with the persuasion power rather than the ability of convincing somebody. So this particular situation only demonstrates, I'm not sure whether you really got the hang of it, I'm sure, or not. Otherwise, please write to me. My email is dinakar@samutana.com. I would be more than happy to explain to you once again and give you more such experiences like what I explained, where you are trying to walk for 50 meters and make a list of items. I've got quite a few of them up my sleeve. I can talk about that for you to really convince yourself that there is no concept of two people perceiving the reality in an identical manner. If that is the case, then there is absolutely no sense and no possibility of somebody arguing. You look at the arguments which happen on the TV, the debates which happen on the TV. Each one is trying to blame the other person. Why is it that the other person is looking like that? I would really appreciate if during the debate, each person, when he is talking, when he is speaking, others just listen, actively listen, and try to put their full effort in trying to understand why is it that this person is perceiving that way, what background he might have to perceive it that way. And that's precisely what happens during a Duha workshop. During a Duha workshop, participants start trying to discover what kind of background, what values, what principles this person may be having, which has led him to perform the way he performed, which led him to behave the way he behaved. And if that his understanding is there, then there is no concept of arguing at all. We understand that he argued that because he felt very, very critical in a particular situation like that at some point of time in his life. So you basically sympathize with him. Why do you need to argue with him? And if that realization happens in the society, imagine what kind of a life we would be having. We would be having happiness everywhere, isn't it? And this is scientific proof that there is some kind of a, what should I say, logic for us to understand that there is no possibility of two people having the same opinion, no possibility of two people seeing the world the same way. Even fanatics see the world a different way. They don't see the same way. Therefore, whenever somebody says that, look, I'm having a different opinion, My advice and recommendation for you in future is to very honestly say, thanks a lot, it's really good, great that you have a different opinion. And at the same time, I want to say it is very easier, very easier said than done. It is not at all easy to behave like that, because your subconscious is the one which is driving you to behave like that. Unless your subconscious is fully convinced, and your emotional experiences have made you get totally convinced and realize that there is nothing like two people having the same opinion, only then will you be able to perform that way. Otherwise, your subconscious will drive you to argue. In my case, I believe, I know that, I believe that there is no possibility of two people having the same opinion, but still I many a times continue arguing, because my subconscious doesn't allow me to do the other way around, because my subconscious has seen that arguing possibly has given me some brownie points at some point of my life. Therefore subconscious drives me to argue. And that's something which is again very interesting. Let's talk about that mindset issue in a different live session. And today, with that, I come to the end of this discussion with again one more concluding remark, which is very important. Please understand, and please discover for yourself that it is impossible for two people to perceive the same way. Since no two people cannot perceive the reality the same way, it is impossible for two people to have the same identical opinion. Therefore, when two people have different opinions, it is really the demonstration of life. That is nature. That is what universe is all about. Accept that reality and accept the other opinion. Respect the other opinion. And that is something which is going to give you a lot of peace of mind, a lot of happiness. Thanks a lot for watching. And on Monday, this week was really interesting. I went on to talk about a lot of, what should I say, people related stuff. And next week on Monday, I would be addressing a different topic. Let me give you a very brief peek into that. It's called as the Levitt's diamond. It's basically a concept which connects various aspects in a business, in an organization, as to how these could be interconnected and how it could be leveraged. I'll talk about that on Monday. Please be there. In the meantime, on Sunday, we have the Duhau webinar coming up, web workshop coming up. Please do visit dinakarmurthy.com and then register to this webinar. And look forward to seeing you on Sunday at 11 o'clock. It's a web workshop on sales and marketing. And on Monday at 8:30 again, I'll talk about the Levitt diamond, which I just now presented to you. With that, for all of you in India, have a nice evening. For those of you outside India, have a great day ahead. And for both of you, have a great weekend. And again, see you on Monday at 8:30 on another topic, which is going to be more interesting than whatever I've been speaking now. And please do keep writing. Please do keep posting your comments in social media. Please do share to your connections, to your contacts. Let us create a world which is much better than what it is now, through knowledge and through enlightenment. Thank you so much, and see you. Goodbye.